So we say that list is a data type, okay, or list is something which stores heterogeneous data types, right, inside it. Understood? When I say the heterogeneous data types inside it, it means that it can store various number of data types like integer, float, string, complex, anything, right? It can store any data type inside a list. So lists are mutable. If I say mutable, it means that it can be renamed, it can be re-indexed, it can be changed, right? So lists are mutable and are the objects kind of thing, or we can say is nothing but the collection of collection of an heterogeneous data, right? So these are ordered and these are changeable. You can duplicate the values of the elements inside the list. Okay, you can just make kind of thing like uh, you can say for duplicacy. That was I'm saying. You can make duplicacy of the elements. Alright. So if we define it as uh, so these are ordered and can have duplicate values. Nice. Okay. Now let's see that if I mean to define any list. Okay. So while choosing a data type is like kind you write anything and you will get to the data right there, right? And meanwhile one more thing. List always are always written in the square brackets. Alright. So till now we have used these things but we haven't discussed about the list, right? So let's see the list one by one. We'll see the types one by one. How are the things we can do inside the list. All right. Okay. So first we'll look to create a list. That is called as creating a list. Okay. So as I said, creating a list is as similar to that. Just to give a variable name, gives an equal operator, and then write something inside the square brackets. Okay. See how it managed to come. Let's say I want some vowels, and I'm writing no, these are not A E I O U. So I've written these things inside a square bracket. So this is a kind of a list you can say. Alright. So let me write one more. If I write just a number. Okay, so return just a number. So if I check on and let these three be just the variables. Now let's see the type of all these. So you can see all other kind of list. Alright, so you can make even a single list, a number with a single list, or a list with a single number. You can make a list with the double number, you can make a list with various number, right? And a list can contain an heterogeneous type of data. For that, let me write it as hetero. And now hetero means you will be giving some various type of data. So let it be an integer, let it be a float, let it be a complex, let it be a string, and what. Okay, till now we have read all these, so taking that these things. So these can be stored inside a list. Cool. Okay, now we have seen how to make a list and just okay. Now we'll see how can access the items of a list. Okay, how we can access the items of a list. Now let's say there is a man named as, let's take any name. Let's take he is. I saw a movie yesterday. So let's take Kizzy. Alright. So this is the name of a just a female, right? And let's take his interest. Okay. So her interest is on the songs, right? The nature. And, okay. So these are two of the topics having interest on. Kizzy is having interest on mostly on these two things, right? So these are. Now see, if I need to access what is the elements having inside the Kizzy list, so what I'll do is I'll find out Kizzy and will search for the 0. The Kizzy of 0 will give me that what is the value stored inside the list on the first element. Similarly, Kizzy of 1 will give me the second element of the Kizzy variable or list, you can say. So I can see the Kizzy of 0 is the songs and the Kizzy of the 1 is the nature. Similarly, what you can do is you can also check indexing is the same as I say for everything. Similarly, you can write for the -2 and -1. Again, you will get the same output. That is -1 is nothing but the, if you read from the right hand side. So -1 is the nature and the -2 is the songs. So you can do like that, right? Now let's say Kizzy likes to learn or Kizzy likes to listen some songs. Okay. Okay. So we'll discuss songs later. Now let's say that she has got some interest on some other objects, right? So let it be a kind of thing. So we'll try to use the addition. So she has an interest now and she now just have it. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll write those interests, will just add on those interests inside her list, right? So how we'll do that? We'll say that Kizzy has suddenly has an interest in the movies, let's say, right? So what we'll write? So we'll be using the method called as So it will take the value at the list. So it automatically add the value at the end of the list. Alright. So this is very funny. And it always, this is important, that it always takes only one argument. One argument, that is, you can pass only one value using the append one. Okay. So let's say Kizzy got an interest in the movies suddenly. So Kizzy dot append of movies. Now what will happen if I run this and if I just see on the Kizzy? So I'll see that the movies is there inside the Kizzy's list right now. Okay, so this is her interest now. Right. Now let's say, now let's say that she got some problems. Okay, some problems with her, or she got some more of the interest. Let's say, not talking about the problems. Let's go with the interest. Now she suddenly got some interest in more of the things. Let's see. Now let's say, okay, we are using the next method. So in the extend method, we'll see that it automatically it takes but more than one argument in the form of a list. Now kind of, let's say that this Kizzy has got an interest suddenly on the what is his name? I think it was Abhimanyu, just a singer there. Alright, so Abhimanyu, and let's take another. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's take that she's having now interest in these two. Okay, so that is Abhimanyu and Rajnikant. Now see what I've done here. My important thing to focus on that. We have used append method to just add on one particular value, and we have used this extend method to add on some different values. But as I said, this can be in the form of a list. So you need to write inside a list, and then you can extend it and run this. And you can also see the Kizzy now. So I'll see that these things has been appended in the or extended in the last or add on in the last of the things. Now let's say that Kizzy falls in love and she has some more interest on someone, right? So what we'll do now? Love will come among all these, right? Or love will be the priority of all these, right? So what we'll do, that we'll try to insert that love person here, not in place of in the last. We'll just try to insert that here, right? So what we can do is we'll use some method. So that method is called as insert. When you want to insert or when you want to add anything in a specific location, you define your location where you want. So when you define your location, you use the method called as insert. It will add on the values according to specific location you want. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, now let's say he fall in love with the Manny. Okay, so what we'll do that, we'll try to insert Manny in the 0th position, that is in the first position. So we'll write 0 and then we'll write Manny. So now we'll see Kisi and we'll see Manny, songs, nature, movies, Abhimanyu, Rajnikant. So this is kind of a small world she is having now. Okay. Yeah, even there could be health as and mom. Right. So these are the things which are to be focused. So now see what I want to sum up with these things, right? That if you want to add a particular element, you will be using append. For multiple elements, extend, and for defining anything, if you want any particular index value to be added up, any values, so you'll be giving the insert. Any problems in these of the three methods? I don't think any problem will be there. Anyone having any issues or any confusions to understand? Very good. I can see no one there. All right. Okay, so these were the kind of things. Fine. Okay, so these are the things when you add up, when you give some ranges and all these. Now let's see some other interests. Okay, now let's take about the problems. Apart from the interest, now let's take about the problem things. Okay, so now Kizzy is having a problem, right? So now let's take about the talk about the. So removing elements from the list. Okay. Now let's talk about that. Tuskegee is having a problem of cancer, okay. And also I think it was thyroid cancer. I think. Yeah, it was thyroid cancer. I hope it was correct. I am correct. So it was kind of thyroid cancer. Okay, this was her problem. So what are the things she was facing? And I thyroid, the cancer, facing some problems regarding the asthma too, right? For the taking of the, you can say, for just, just like just like having their okay, uh, the breathing problem. I can say breathing problem, right? So these are the kind of things Kizzy were having inside his problem. So let's say these is nothing but the Kizzy problems. Once again. Okay. So these are the problems she was having. Okay. In the movie, she didn't overcome with all these, but let's make her overcome here. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll remove one by one problem from her list. Okay. So how to remove those things? So we have again the methods there to remove these things, right? So how will remove now? Let's see. So for removing something from a list, you have option of your remove, you have option of a pop and of a delete, right? So how let's go with the method of remove. Okay, so this remove will use to remove a specified item from a list. And when I say a specified item, I mean to say that it will remove the exact element which you write inside the parenthesis. Okay, so let's say you now say you are saying that Kizzy problems dot remove. So I'm saying I want to remove her breathing problem first of all. That is very necessary. Okay. So and then will I look at after the Kizzy problems list. So I can see now she's not having any breathing problems. Okay. That's good, right? Now let's say for the second method, if you want to remove that, right? So we'll write it as now. The second method is called as pop. This you'll find everywhere, but not in the dictionaries. There is also pop, but it have some different rules there. So this statement, it will automatically remove the last element from the list. Okay, you don't have to specify anything. It will automatically remove the last element from the string. Sorry, list. So now say that you want something, kind of thing. Let's you want to now my Kizzy problem is having all these. So she was having a thyroid cancer. That is yours. She was having the thyroid too and the cancers too. So let's remove the thyroid. Let it be only the cancer one. So what we'll do that? Write Kizzy problems dot pop, and we'll see for the Kizzy problems. Okay. So we'll remove these and we'll check for the Kizzy problems. So we found that she is only having the cancer now. Okay. So pop automatically removes what? The last element of the list. That is your thyroid. So you don't need to define anything here. If you write, it is not if you want to define anything, that will remove that particular element. But if you don't define anything, it will automatically remove the exact element you want to remove, or it will automatically remove the last element, right? So now she is only having cancer, right? So what we'll do, we'll also try to remove this cancer. So for that, what we'll do is we'll write the next method. So here you can either just clear the list, or you can remove again with the same methods of the pop and remove things. Okay, right? You can use these, or you can just clear. So I'll be using clearing method. So this clear method is used to empty the set. So this will be used to empty the list. Alright, basic one. So for that, what you need to do is you need to write that Kizzy problems dot clear. Let's say her problem got clear now, and then we'll check for the Kizzy problems, and we'll come to found that she's having no problems. Now this is a kind of a empty list. Now no problems are there in our life, right? So now no problems are there, so I don't need this Kizzy problems list. What I'll do is I will delete it. So for deleting anything or deleting any kind of list, we will be using del. So this will delete the list, and That's all. So this will delete the list. And if you run like again after deleting, if you just call the Kizzy problems again, if you run the Kizzy problem, it will just say you that it is not defined, right? Because you have deleted it. So now this Kizzy problems are no more. So let's delete these things. Alright. So deleted. Now if you see for the Kizzy problems, you will see you can see right no Kizzy problems coming here, right? So we have Kizzy and we'll equal it with the Kizzy plus. Alright. Hmm. So these are the KB interest. Alright. Fine. So these are the KB's interest and these are the things there. Similarly, you can just add on remove anything from the list, right? If you want, right? Okay. So these are the interest and these are the removal method and all those things, right? Accessing elements have been discussed, right? Now let's say that you want the Basu's interest of the everything from the fifth. So you'll see everything till the fourth one. Let's say you want from the fourth. So everything from the fourth comes. If you don't specify any range, it will go till the last. So from the fourth, it's Abhimanyu and Rajnikant. It's correct. Similarly, you can write on the things and it can comment here, right? Now we'll try to see how many elements how many interests this Kizzy Basu is having. So she's having 6 interests, right? Good. That is nice. Okay. So these are the things of a kind of a list, you can say, right? The length and all those things. You have learned how to add an element, you have learned how to remove an element, you have learned how to delete an element, right? You have learned how to clear an element. Okay, so for copying an element, you can do this particular step, what I have done. Okay, so for copying an element, you can do this particular thing, what I have done now, right? One second, guys. There was something. Okay, fine. So this is one of the step for copying anything, or the another step you can say on now we say it as it will create copy of the element. Oh no, sorry, copy of the list. LST list. Alright, so you can say as we did the copy of Kizzy Basu's interest, and you have to write that Kizzy Basu interest KBI. Alright, Kizzy Basu's interest is KBI, and that is a Kizzy copy. That's all. When you come to see your KBI, you will have the same things there. Understood? So this is kind of a copy. Now, so you can have a lot of things more in the copy or in the list methods. So what are the list methods basically? So we'll do one by one everything. That is, if I write and see the methods. So we have seen the append, we have seen the clear, we have seen the copy, we have seen the remove, we have seen the pop. Alright. Now we'll look on to the sort, to the reverse, to the insert we have also seen, to the index, and to the count. These four things. Alright. It will not work like that, right? Have to define there. Okay, let's say now KVI, you don't want this KVI, and just kind of a memory management, it is taking up this spaces and nothing else. So I'll delete this KVI and I'll delete this Kizzy too. So I'm having Kizzy Basu's interest as my list, so not to. Okay, so Kizzy is over now. Okay, so let's coming from apart from that. Alright. Now let's make something new. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll make a list of numbers now, like a small list of numbers. So we are trying to learn that how to use the count, index, sort. Okay, so we'll learn these things now. Now see, let's make a statement first. Let's say I have a numbers list, and that is an empty list for now. It is an empty list for now. What I'll do is I'll take for x in range of 20, 21. Alright. So for x in the range of numbers from 1 to 21. Now we know that how to add on anything. Okay. So instead of printing, what I'll do, I'll write num dot append the x. What will happen here? See, I've defined the list that is a blank list, empty list, right? And I've written a statement for x in the range of 1 to 21. Num dot append of x. That's all. My program is there. Right? So in the second line, what will happen? A for loop will start, right? It will come with the number 1, and what will do? It will add on the number 1 to the num list. Again, it will come. It will add on the second number, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and it will add the numbers till the 20, right? So it will go on repeating the loop, and then its execution is not to print now. Its execution is to add the numbers in the list, right? So that's it. So we have done. Now if we see the num, we'll see as a kind of a list having the numbers from 1 to 20. So instead of writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, what I did is I just pass on the values and I just wrote it. You can pass the values till the thousand, hundreds, whatever you want. You can pass the values there. You can see that it is coming like this. Okay. Now let's see one by one things. Okay, we'll see the count, index, and sort. So let's say talk about the count. So count particularly returns the number of elements with the specified value. It will returns the number of elements with specified values. How? See, so in the num, if I count on that, how many 5 are there? It says only 1. Similarly, how many 0 are there? It says 0. These are the things you just count on. Okay? So these are the kind of things, just an occurrence of the numbers. Now let's see what is the index value of 5. Now let's see how many 12 are there. If any, then what is the index value of 5? Index value of this 12. It says there are 1 occurrence of 12 number and it is stored in the 11. Alright, these are the things you just do with the count. So what you do with the index, if particularly and cd okay, so return you the index of the first element with the specified value. So that you can just go on. So if you find num dot index of a 0 element which is not present, so it says 0 is not in the list. Okay, understood? So these are the errors you will be getting. Okay, moving ahead. Let's see the working of a sort method. Now for sort method, I'll just do one more thing. I'll say that I'm having a random numbers list. And this is an empty list. Again, what I'll do is I'll write for x in range of 101. Random append so I need to make some random numbers. So let's say these are stored in array, and we'll say that array dot array is nothing but the random of 101 numbers, and I'll append this array inside the random. Let's see if any random takes no arguments, one given. Oh, sorry. So let's see what is my random. So I have some numbers now, some 100 numbers. Right? So we'll pass on the values. Okay. So instead of random, if I use rand int, so these are my random numbers now. Okay. So what I did is, see guys, I have made a random import and integer import, and then just got the same things. What the only step I have done is I've taken a random integer of some 1 to 101 range and I've stored in the RL variable. And after the storing, every time the new random numbers execution will be there, and I'll be storing these random numbers inside my list. Okay. And now there are some of the random numbers we are having, right? These are the random numbers. Okay, understood? So if I see random, these are just the numbers not sorted up, right? 80 numbers are there, any places. Now if I just count on the things, let's see whether there is an occurrence of more than one number or not. So if I check that in the random, count how many 27 are there. It says 1, or wait, 27, 3. Okay, you can see 57 values, that there are 357 values. Similarly, you can find anything, right? So if these are 3, then what I mean to just show you is, oh, it's random. If you find this index of 57, so we will get only the first index value, that is your 27th. Okay, this is the first index value of the 27th one. Okay, so index of 57 is the 27th having it there. Just now see, these are in an unsorted way. To sort this, you will be using the sort method. So this will sort up the things. In the list. Alright, so we want this random to be sorted out. So these are my random now. So I can see 1, 3, 6, then again 4 times 7, 8, 9, 1, 1, and these are. So this particular thing, guys, you can use in the OTP generation, isn't it? What you can do, for one day, you can make a lot of OTP for you, right? How? Let's say you have OTP as a blank list. You copy these particular steps. So we'll write today's date, that is 12, no, sorry, today is 28. So today is 28, 7, 2020. Only writing 20. And this month has some 31, 7, 20. Alright, so just taking some range there. Alright, now what we'll do, so we have important, but still, okay, and this should be the random OTPs. That's all. If you will see your OTP, so you'll be having these much things inside your OTP. These are the codes you will be giving to the user, right? So more just improving it, what you will do is, now let's say these are my OTP now. All are these the OTP I'm having in my particular list. These are some of the 100 OTP I have generated for a particular 1 minute or 1 day. That's all to say that. Now we'll see the sorted way. So is there any OTP repeating up there? There might be. Any repetitions are there? You can't find like this. For any repetitions you'll be finding out. So what is there one library in the Python called as NumPy? Okay, so there is a library called as that. So it makes a arrange particularly. Let's say so these are my OTP. Okay, so don't focus on this library. Okay, these are learned in the data science part and all those things. Okay, don't focus on these things. So these are my OTP. We will see whether any. First, let's see the length of this OTP, and then we'll see the length of the. Whoa. Let's see, it's 100 there. Let's go. Right. Oh, why it is not taking it? So unique is not really coming up with the. Okay, so these are the unique values we are having. That is unique numbers particularly. These are the unique values we are having. So if I see the length of this unique, so alright, there are two duplications. Okay, so you have got two duplications there. See, it's 99 numbers are unique numbers, only one is being duplicated. Okay, so that is for 2, you will count for 2, that is 2 numbers same. But you have got in the 100 numbers generation, one particular value is same. Understood? Now that can be any particular value. Let's see what is the value. 7843566991555955655. So we can just find out this. So these are things. If you find out for the next true option, we'll come to see the second one. It's saying for the second one. So where it is. Okay, that is not just a thing to be focused for you. Okay, but this is how this thing runs on, right? So only generating OTP is not the fact. You have to look on all the things, whether it is being saved or not, because it's random. It can be saved, so you have to exclude the same things, right? So these are the kind. So you have seen how to sort anything. You have seen how to discount, how to see the index and all these things, right? Okay. So here we come up with the end of your particular value. If we write counts, 12th element. So this is particularly repeated for the two times. It's saying 2, 8, 4, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. It is saying like that 2, 8, 4, 3, 4, 5. Where it is. So normal codes 2, 8, 4, 3, 4, 5. Right? No, not the 12th one, not the 12th one. It's from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24th element. So it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, and so this is 8, and this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12. So this 4, 16, 20, and the 24th element will look after that. 21, 22, 23, 24. Isn't it? This is repeating or not? 22, 9, 0, 1, 9, 2. We'll see. Let's count. Let's see. OTP of 24. 20 to 20, 20 to 30. Let's print everything from 20 to 30. And where it has been there. Yeah. So any repetitions here? Okay. Let's see. This is the repetition value. So yeah, you can find on anything, right? So this is called as data manipulation. Wrangling on the data. You are learning basics, not go into all these things. Okay, don't go in these much. Okay, fine. So you've seen everything for any kind of list, what you can just to go on for things, right? Yeah. So let's do some of the questions now. Before moving to question, let me discuss more of the facts, like for how to make a list, how to join to list, how to add up to list, how to subtract and things. So to joining a list, let's say you have n1, you are having, say, you are taking input, you are making a system basically. So these are the key points, guys. These are the key points we use to make. Let's say you are just taking an input from the user, and you are storing the usernames and their phone numbers here. You can, let's say you define a phone number, a list of phone number. Similarly, you have defined a username. Similarly, you have assigned their PIN, right? You have assigned their pins, or you have assigned their password. So these are the things you have done, right? What you do is you take the user input. Let's say making an Instagram account, or basic things, guys. So the concept I'm talking about, you're making an Instagram account. Now let's give the user enter a username. Not not a making, just logging inside the Instagram account. Okay, I'm not making now. So let's say this is a for clear. So user will give its username and will take on the password then. Okay, so there's the password of the username. Phone number is not necessary for you, so removing this phone number. So for a bank, phone number is necessary, right? So let it be there, not removing. Let it be there. So these are the kind of things you have here. Okay, fine. Now what you'll do is these are your user and these are the index. So now see what you'll do. You will run a true or let's say you are giving 5 inputs. All right, someone is coming and it's taking 5 inputs. So while you can use while true. So while this situation is true, condition is true, I'll be taking on these things. And print here that plan to quit. Okay. So if the user input is blank, immediately I will break on. I'll not go anywhere else, right? If it is blank, I'll just break out the thing. Or if it is not so, then I'll check the user and the password. And what I'll do is after the user gives this, I'll append the username to the user. Alright, and similarly password. That is, so it's saying Instagram account blank to quit means that if you don't write anything, it will just quit on. Okay, you see, it's just quitted. Okay, password is not defined and all these things, right? Password. So if the user is blank, let's just quit this on, or it is correct. Okay, we haven't taken the input of the user. Okay, so if user does not give any of the things, it will be like login failed. Let's see if it gives something. Let's say I'm writing my one. Enter user, where it has enter user. Okay, that is wrong. We'll have to correct something more. Password is not defined. Why? Will print user equals to enter username. So if it is there and if the user gives this, so I'll not do anything. So user will ask to give the username, and if the user is blank, print it. If it is not, then append the user and then ask for the password and keep these things. Let's see. Py dot sorry, pro underscore and password. Fine. So login successful, and again it asks for me to blank to quit or enter username. So it will go, it will continue until you just make it stop there. Okay. So after login successful, for every other occurrence, what I'll do is I'll try to find out a basic concept. Okay. I'll try to print the new statement. All right. So whenever, let's say, a username will be given there, whenever a username will be given there, and whenever a password will be given, so it will give you login successful, give a gap, and then again blank to quit, username anything. Again you give username 1 and you give password 1, and this is again, and just enter blank to quit on. So now let's see what are the thing inside my ph, sorry, my username, and what are my passwords. So my username is username1, password, and so on. Okay, let's see. So password haven't stored. All right. So I haven't stored these things. Went in a process. Let's run this. Let's write username, password, username 1, password 1, and enter blanks, username, passwords. So this is very similar of how can I just write on. So if my username is there, so in the day one I have this username, then I got this username. So these are the users, these are the passwords I am having on. I consider. Okay. So this can be done, right? This can be done, but there are some more steps you should follow, because every time when you regenerate this and when you write this one, let's say I've written Sumit, I've written cool, and every time when you regenerate username we just be only one. So how to make these things that it can store it till forever? Okay, so that can be just kind of one thing. So how to make those things, how to just there are a lot of process. So basic initialization works like this. Giving an example. Okay, so these are the things we just focus on, the kind of list. Okay, so these are just the basic things we learned in the list. Now see, for checking anything inside a list, for it, if a list is having something or not. Okay, so let's give some of the just kind of variable and write some of the things there. and we'll see whether there are inside that or not. So what we'll do that now in the same thing in this particular thing. Okay, if the user is not blank, what I'll see, I will use the elif one. Okay, let it be the same. Now what happens in the same thing? Let's say now instead of else, I will be using its elif. Now if I will check now elif, if I check whether this whatever the user has given, if this username is there inside my username. If it is inside my username, okay, if it is there, what I'll do, I will then append the value. Okay, so what I need to do is now I need to okay. So if the username is there, then I will just give him the password to input. Okay, these are the things, and or else I will give him the methods of that you write your username. Okay, not like that. So else just kind of break, and that's it. Okay, so we'll see what comes. So I'm not appending the username there. Let's say it's Sumit. Let's say it's me. So there, see, it breaks itself. It break there. Okay, so there it says if it is not there, then instead of break, do one thing. Write invalid username. So this is correct, right? So you are having an invalid username there. That is properly invalid, right? Because I'm having my username as this and this, right? So similarly, I'll be checking on that. This is whether this is equal or not. You can check on for the passwords too. Let's say someone has came and let it be my name there, and I'm checking for my ID. So it says an invalid username. So how it check? It check that if the user is there in the username. So username is having only Sumit there, only the password. If I write the correct name, it will say that okay, enter the password. So if I take the password, so they log in successfully. Okay. There are a lot of things to be focused on to make these things. Okay. So similarly, it checks for the password and all these things. Okay, so what you see that if you have a list of anything, let's say you have a list of colors, and those are red, green, blue. Okay, those are red, green, blue, yellow, and a lot of things, right? Now you came up with some other one. Let's say you came up with the you just come up with the let's say print with one color, let's say black, and you want to see whether they're black in the colors or not. So it will say false because black is not in the colors. But if you check for the B, it will say true. B is in the color. So this is kind of thing you can just check on or to see. Right now, to make someone as a kind of a list, right? You have some, let's say you have some values, and you want that to be inside a list. You want those things in the list. So what you will do, you will use the constructor method called as list constructor. So that is exactly, let's say you have some numbers there, 12, 30, 50, 60, and you want a list of those things. So you will just pass on that. I'll need a list. So list expected at most one argument got, oh okay, you give there. So this will come inside the list. Okay, that is just a parenthesis. We just passed on kind of list, and you will see it's a kind So this is an built-in mutable sequence, a kind of if no argument is given, it is a single blank list. Alright, fine. So you have read everything about the list till now. And I think no more confusions will be there for the list. Alright. So we'll straightly go to the questions of that. For reversing a list, let's say you want to reverse the colors. So let's put on the two columns, -1 and run it reversed. Okay. So these are the list kind of things you do in the list, or the use what you can do with the list. There are many things you can do with the list, right? There are many things you can store in the list. There are things you can just work with the list one, and a lot of things you can do. The same concept can be used with the tuples, or we'll discuss tuple tomorrow. But before we'll have the list. Okay. So your everyday work will be, we'll write tomorrow the tuples, and what we'll do, uh, we'll give a small test of list tomorrow. Okay. So you practice list today. I have given an assignment of a list also. You have assignment of the list. Let's do some of the questions of the list. So there you have your list assignments. I think there might be in the assignment 4. I think. If I see conditional statements now, assignment 5, strings. So complete this one also. Assignment 6. Okay, this is the string, list 1. So you have a lot of these things, right? Do with that. Again, you have one more. This is on the list and the strings and the tuples and the sets. Okay. So meanwhile, you can see where these are the strings. You can sorry, the string and the list one you can do. Leave the tuples and the sets one. Okay. Okay. Let's do some of the questions of the list. Okay, it's not bad. So, see guys, what I can do is I can use it kind of how many odd and even numbers are there in the list right now. So let's just take it for one first one. Let's say how many odd and even numbers are in the list. So you need to define a list first of all. So let's take from random, import this random, give an empty list. So take it the range, and let's say I'm taking a range of numbers till the 6, and my n will be an integer of the random value I'm getting, and I'll multiply it with the 100. We have done that, and we'll append these things into the normal. Okay, these things are normal till now, and then what I'll do is I'll print the A. I'll let you see what are the things inside the A there. Then I'll take an even list, set it to 0, and similarly an odd variable, set it as 0. I'll write for x in A. If the x is divided by 2 and is giving the remainder as 0, if it is doing like that, then what I'll do is I will give even plus equals 1. And if it is not doing, what I'll do is I'll giving odd plus equals 1. Okay, and at last I'll print even numbers are even, and similarly I'll print the odd numbers odd. That's it. So we'll get to see, okay, there is okay, so these are the things. Fine. Let's run and see. So understood what I've done. I've taken a random, then made it as a kind of an integer, and then appended it in the A, and then I'll print the A. Let's take at least a 10 digit. Okay. So then I have even and odd variable set to be 0, and then I have taken the values. Now if the x in the A, if the elements in the A divided by 2 and gives you 0, so even will be plus 1, that is even will be adding on the values. So every time when it is divided by the 2, I'll be adding up with these things. Okay, so let's run this unsupported built-in function and the end in the there's a small error. So you can see the numbers are 44, 59, 36, 41, 12, 0 and all these things, right? And my even numbers are 7 and the odd numbers are 4. Now also if you want the numbers to be displayed, okay, if you want the numbers to be displayed too, so what you will do, you will make a numbers list. Let's say even numbers, and similarly the odd numbers. So you can just go on writing in the even numbers dot append the x. Okay, and similarly here in the odd numbers you can append the values of the odd x, particularly here to whatever you're getting, right? So this will be there. And even total even numbers, total even numbers would be your even, and then you can write on the numbers are even numbers, right? Similarly you can write for the total odd numbers are even num is not defined, oh sorry, it's even num. Odd even is not defined, odd num is there. Where is Audive? 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 Where is Audive? Audive? Or none is there. So you can see the answers. That is your in this particular random numbers, total even numbers are 3 and the numbers are 12, 20, 78 and 48. And similarly for the total odd numbers are 8 and the numbers are 35, 85, 15, 37, 97, 97, 93 and 57. Understood? So these are the things you can work on with the list. So there are several questions to be practiced on the list. I have given you some of one question. We'll discuss much of the questions tomorrow. Today, your work is to complete this assignments. All right, complete this one and send it right for right today because we'll have a test tomorrow on these things. So we'll discuss important questions also, and we'll have a small test. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Let it be day after tomorrow. We'll study the list important questions and the tuples to it tomorrow. Okay. So any questions in today's session? Let me stop your video.